I am often asked what my favorite cheese is, and the answer is, of course, I don't have a favorite cheese. I love all cheese, but I have a favorite style, and this is my favorite style, the Taleggio Gateway. These are all the cheeses that are soft to semi-soft in texture with an orange, sticky, tacky rind. They are also known as the stinky cheeses because a lot of them smell pretty bad, which is good for you to know because sometimes cheese smells bad because it's spoiled and sometimes cheese smells bad because it's stinky. Let's get into it and talk about what's going on here. The flavors and aromas of the Taleggio types share a lot in common with brie types. There are dairy and vegetal qualities. But then there's the added intensity of animal notes. This comes in the form of salty, meaty flavors like bacon or salami, and aromas of horse barns and sweat. Sorry. This might sound gross, but the bacteria on the rind of these cheeses that makes them smelly is the same bacteria that's found in human perspiration. So what makes them stinky, you want to know? Well, it's that orange rind. I love washed rind cheeses, which are what cheese people call this style. I love them because you can tell right off the bat just by looking in a cheese case whether it's a washed rind or not. If it has this orange exterior, it's been washed in salt water. Repeatedly, over time, that washing develops a certain kind of bacteria that makes the cheese orange, sticky, and really smelly. Traditionally, cheeses were washed in brine that often had some sort of alcohol added to it. Beer, wine, even spirits. And there are still cheeses made that way today, but most commonly, these are just washed in straight up salt water. Even within the realm of stinky, there are more approachable cheeses and more intense cheeses. Taleggio is a milder example. It's got a wonderfully yeasty flavor, like pizza dough, and a smushy butteriness. Mid-range washed rinds, things like Cowgirl Creamery Red Hawk, are where the meaty flavors really start to come out. Think prosciutto and saucisson sec. At the most extreme end, expect lots of beef bouillon and caramelized onion flavor. Cheeses like French Époisse or l'Ami du Chambertin, and the American cheese that I love so much, Meadow Creek Grayson. So, to recap the Taleggio Gateway, these are called washed rind cheeses, meaning they've been washed in salt water, and that's gonna make the cheese orange, stinky, and kind of damp looking. What's so important is that even though the rind smells weird and often looks really weird, it is fully edible, and I highly recommend that you at least try it. It's where a lot of the flavor comes from. So especially if you like those meatier, saltier flavors, the rind is what's making that happen. So you don't eat the rind, you don't get the goodness. Important to know also is that most washed rind cheeses tend to be younger. So they're generally aged like 4 to 8 weeks. And of course that matters because in the United States, we can't have raw milk cheeses that are less than 60 days old. So the majority of Taleggio types you find in the US will be made of pasteurized milk. And because they're higher in moisture and creamier and softer, they're gonna be shorter shelf life cheeses. Like the brie types, I generally try to eat these within 7 to 10 days of taking them home. Of course, you can always look for common signs of spoilage if you're not sure how your cheese is faring, either on the counter at the store or in your fridge.